What do you legitimately believe happens after we die? No idea, but there is this quote from the TV show, The Good Place, that I really like and have found comfort in. Picture a wave. In the ocean, you can see it, measure it, its height, the way the sunlight refracts when it passes through, and it's there, and you can see it, you know what it is. It's a wave, and then it crashes in the shore and it's gone, but the water is still there. The wave was just a different way for the water to be, for a little while. You know, it's one conception of death for Buddhists. The wave returns to the ocean, where it came from and where it's supposed to be. Nothing. It's the only answer that makes sense. And #X200B. We are our thoughts. Our thoughts are in our brain. And #X200B. When we die, our brain shuts down, so our thoughts no longer exist. And #X200B. Anybody who believes in any form of an afterlife really needs to explain how we can have thoughts without our brain. And if they believe that's somehow magically possible, why do we have brains while still alive? Our energy, just like that of every living thing before us, will go on and become new things. Soil, plants, lions, toilet paper, spaceship wheel arches, dragonfly toes. We're all just part of the same system, neither manufactured nor destroyed. We're just transferring that bestowed upon us from all those before. Death is life. Just like before you were born. Not good, not bad, just non-existence. I'm under the impression that death is a separate experience we can't comprehend. Like someone with vision will never truly know the concept of blindness, or someone with hearing will never know the concept of deafness. You only experience it while you're doing it, and I am currently experiencing being alive as a human. You don't know what it was like before you were born because you're obviously alive, just like you don't know deafness because your ears work. Beyond that, I believe the universe is in endless million-trillion-year-long cycles of growth and collapse, and the fact that I exist at all means, throughout infinity, I am a guaranteed mathematic outcome and must repeat again. If you have infinite space, infinite time, and infinite possibilities, everything will repeat eventually. If you have infinite space, infinite time, but limited possibilities, what currently exists is a possibility, and must repeat eventually. If you have limited space, but infinite time, and limited possibilities, what currently exists is a possibility and must repeat eventually. I don't believe a combination of limited space, limited time, and limited possibilities even exists, but if it does, I believe that means the limited time, space, and possibilities is contained within something and must always exist, meaning this world always exists as if a point on a graph. In the time between, I think it's possible for atoms and particles that once made my brain to periodically reunite for small periods of time, meaning that my memories will echo for eternity, potentially, if mixed with other memories, or reuniting in someone else's brain. Fragments of me exist for all time in varying degrees of sentience and lucidity. TLDR. All of existence is an infinitely repeating cycle, and in the time between being human you experience the universe differently. And #X200B. P.S. I find something as simple as God, or even nothing, to be too limiting to be accurate. I feel like nothing is just one out of an unimaginable number of possibilities. To claim to know one single answer out of infinity is ridiculous, and that extends to people who thoroughly believe in any religion. Religion and nothing are two explanations out of infinity, and neither are likely to be true by that ratio. I also think it's a little silly to suggest that there are no elements at play in regards to the universe, consciousness, and sentience that might escape human comprehension or scientific observable measurement. We're limited by our technology and our own minds, and to think that humans have, or even can, unlock the secrets to everything is foolish. I absolutely believe that the universe works in ways which can't, and never can, be measured. One of life's great mysteries is what it would be like to go to sleep and never wake up, and if you dwell on that for long enough, something will happen to you. You'll discover, among other things, that it will ask you the following question: what was it like to wake up after never sleeping? It was, at that time that you were born. You see, you can't have a zero-sum experience. A vacuum is something that nature despises. In my opinion, nothing. Like being under anesthesia but never waking up and ceasing to exist. I'd honestly like to believe that we all become energy. We move around the universe, maybe even become one with it until we are reincarnated again as something else on Earth or a different planet. I'd like to think we reset like a game and we could choose whether we get reborn or go to some sort of heaven or something. Darkness all around. A single box of text appears before you. You can now play as Luigi. I believe that there are planes of existence, in a sense, that humans are not capable of perceiving, nor do we have the sophisticated technology to confirm or measure them. Yet, I'm all up for scientific and empirical research and the advancement of such, but I don't try to assume that we know everything, or that all that we have discovered is everything there is or can be. Speaking in a qualitative sense, not quantitative, a true scientist wouldn't say, "You're ignorant for believing in a God, an afterlife," as there is no way, so far, to prove the existence nor the absence of such. I'd like to believe that one day humans will find out. As for my wishful thinking, I think that the afterlife is our own personal heaven, hell which we create and dwell in, depending on how we reflect on the deeds and decisions of our life. Consider sleep. We let go of our consciousness when we sleep. The consciousness that wakes up thinks that it is the same consciousness that went to sleep because of the memories. Who is to say it's the same consciousness that wakes up? For all we know, the consciousness that went to sleep just dies. Good luck sleeping tonight. I feel like this is a half-baked idea, but our brains use some energy, electricity to work. When we die, I think we see what we think we'll see. Light, darkness, whatever. Then usually it's nothing, but the energy has to go somewhere? Maybe not when someone dies peacefully and the energy has been gradually released, but when someone dies suddenly, the energy lingers. It hasn't had time to disperse. That's why we have ghosts, or things that we haven't been able to explain. Most can be explained when investigated, like the house not being level, or the air conditioner vibrating the wall, but sometimes something is actually left for a while, an imprint of someone who had a lot of energy that stuck around after their body stopped working. Eventually it is absorbed into the world around it, so not quite reincarnation, not quite anything else, but basically I think we return to the earth and become part of the collective energy of the world. On the surface I'm an atheist, so I don't in heaven or anything like that. Most likely there is nothing, but that doesn't mean I'm 100% sure of what will happen after death. Maybe there is an afterlife, maybe there isn't, and I think spending time on these questions is just a waste of the precious time we already have. I believe we go to another universe, but that's just wishful thinking. I'm not religious. I don't believe in heaven or hell, or some deity that created man, and all that shenanigans. But, it just all looks a bit too correct to me. All these big balls of life-giving energy which have these terrestrial objects spinning around them, where life can form, billions upon billions of them. All the laws of physics that encapsulate it all. It just looks like one big experiment for life to evolve, if fate allows it, and if so, for what? Why? Does life mean something else? Is it important for some reason that we will never be able to understand? I don't know. I'm probably not putting it across very well. It just seems all a bit too freaky for it to be chance. I would love there to be some reason behind it and our life to hold some importance after death on some other plane that is unknown to us. But it's probably wishful thinking on my part. Typically, a wake is held for several days, and then we are brought to the crematorium or burial grounds carried in a coffin. Mourners often parade behind this procession, thus the corpse is either buried or its ashes kept or buried. The same as when trees, plants, or other animals die, we decompose and feed the earth for something else to grow. I personally think that there is an afterlife to some extent. I don't really believe in God or any religion, but I believe that there is more than what we can see with our eyes. It's just a feeling and I might be wrong, but I want to believe in it and it makes me feel like there is still hope in the darkest days. I would be so happy if the good place turned out to be right. It seems so perfect to me. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing. and watch more Reddit snake. Hiss.